What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm George, and a lot of you guys have been asking to do more instructional or how-to videos, and today we're going to talk about the driver. I'm going to kind of walk you through my practice and how I drive it so well most of the time, because honestly it's been a strength of mine. So we're going to go over a few tips and then a few drills that I do to work on driver. So with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to talk about two things, alignment and ball position today. Pretty simple. But as you can see, I have an alignment rod right here, and my target is the white house in the background. Now, in order to start it on line or on the target, I need to be aimed up parallel left. And all parallel left is basically aimed parallel left to the target. So if I aim this like a little farther right and it's basically in line with the target, as you can see here, my toes are going to be on the target line, but I'm aiming it way right. So that's all parallel left means. All right, so all that to say, alignment is very important. And honestly, most of my swing flaws or my bad swings with my driver come from alignment. So if you're ever hitting it bad, just start with alignment, start with the basics, and then work your way up to the more kind of intricate things. So we're gonna walk in there, aim parallel left. And I'm a fader of the golf ball, and more specifically, I'm a push fader. So alignment is really important for me. So if I'm aimed up at all to the right, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm probably going to hit it, make my normal swing aimed up right. I'm going to hit my push fade and it's going to go in the right trees. Or I compensate for the fact, that my body knows I'm aligned right, and then I hit this kind of like come across toe hook thing that goes in the left trees. So basically, alignment is important, guys, and now I'm going to stripe a drive, hopefully in the fairway. All right, how's my alignment look, Millsy? Perfect. Great. Sweet. And going up the right side of the fairway. Not my best, but still, it's fairway. Now for me, my personal tendency with my driver is I aim it too far left, which it makes sense. Like if you're a fader of the golf ball and you're hitting it right on a day, I'm just gonna aim farther left. Well, as you'll see in this shot tracer, I'm gonna aim like too far left. So you can put the camera down, Millsy, on the ground. And so I'm aimed up too far left, and I'm going to make my normal swing, and you're going to see how much this ball cuts to get it back online. So that ball is going up like the right trees. And I hit that big fade because my body was open, and I kind of self-corrected to get it back in the fairway and hit this big cut. And cut. All right, and my second and final tip is ball position, number 2. So you can come over here, Millsy. I have these two alignment rods set up, and with driver, inside the left heel like this. So I take my posture, take my setup, and make sure this rod is kind of resting up against my heel just a little bit. All right, and now if this were an iron, this would probably be my ball position, kind of more towards the center and right off my left ear with an iron. But this is a driver, so a little farther forward, off the left heel or the left armpit, whatever you prefer. All right, so ball position is one of those easy things that most people overlook, and honestly, I don't do a great job with being consistent and working on my ball position. Well, if you get it too far back, that club is coming down and doesn't have as long of a time to square, so the club face is going to be open. Thus, more likely not, you're going to be hitting it way to the right. Or to compensate, you'll know that, and then you really shut the club face down and it goes way left. So a lot of compensation. Now, the opposite's true for if your ball is too far forward. You have a little, or it's going to be past the point where it normally is square and it'll be actually closed, thus hitting these big old hooks to the left or pulls. Okay, so now what I tend to do is get that ball position way too far forward with my driver, and that causes those big old kind of pull hooks, or I'll compensate and hold that club face open and hit these kind of weak pull cuts. So I'll kind of make the same swing that I'm doing, but have that ball position way too far forward. Now my alignment's still at that white house, but you'll see on the shot tracer that this thing is not going to be good. So as you can see, the ball started in those left trees and then cut, but that was because I compensated and my body just knew to kind of hold the club face open and hit that fade. So we're going to put that ball position where it's supposed to be, make the same swing, and hopefully hit more of a tighter, more penetrating fade. So as you'll see, that started way farther to the right, was way less of a fade and a little more or a little less spinny, thus making it go farther. Sweet. All right, guys, now y'all are gonna get a POV of what this kind of ball position in my setup looks like. So as you can see, inside the left heel, right here. And so this is my routine. I kind of get in here at the ball, get all set up with posture, look once at the target, then rip it. Kind of like so. So those are my 2 tips. They're really simple and they're often overlooked aspects of good driving. So ball position and alignment. So make sure you're aimed up parallel left, or that matches your kind of swing theory. And then with ball position inside the left ear with irons, inside the left armpit or the heel with the driver. Good luck. And now we're gonna move into a little drill that I do that personally I think has been a key to my success in my driving throughout, honestly, my whole golfing life. Just a simple slow-mo drill. All right, so one of my drills, or really the only drill that I do with my driver, is called the slow-mo drill. Pretty simple. Everything's the same, but I just swing it about 40, 30, 20%. Really, and what this drill does is really gets you to feel the club face. And it's really, honestly, way harder to hit a slow-mo drive than a full swing drive. And that's the beauty of it is, you know, you want to get down to 20, 30% and be able to hitting it straight in the ball flight you want. And so this is kind of an example. I'll work my way up from probably like 30, 40, 50% and work my way up. So this first swing, gonna do like, I don't know, 30%, or what's 30% to me might actually be like 50, but you get what I'm saying. Start slow and then work your way up. So normal stance, normal posture. And so as you can see, a tight little fade right down the middle. It probably only flew like 150 yards. But then I'll just keep doing that. And that one, my face felt like it was a hair open. So what I'm gonna do on this one is feel like I really close it or square it a little faster. Which is way easier to do when you're swinging, you know, 40, 50%. So this one, all I'm thinking about is squaring it and hitting it a little bit straighter. Kind of like that. Pretty straight shot right at the center of that white house.
White house or gray house?
Sorry, it's a gray house. Jeez, Mills. Hating on me. All right, so that's number 2. So now we're gonna go to like 60 or 70%. Still trying to hit that 2 or 3 yard fade. All 3 of those are really good. So we're gonna end on that one. So this is a great drill to really hone in your driver, especially if your tempo, your timing, your rhythm, your match is off. Go out and hit it 30 or 40% and really work on getting square club face at impact and starting these balls on your start line, and then work your way up to hitting, you know, full 80, 90, 100% drives. Go and try it. All right, now we're gonna kick it over to the Jerge cam and do a little Q&A. We're gonna answer some of the questions you guys sent in a month or so ago and just dive into it. So with that being said, kicking it over to Jerge cam and Mills, and let's answer some questions.
From Preston K.
Preston K. Preston Kersaja, I think.
What do you say to a kid or a teen that is just starting to play golf?
Great question. So my biggest advice to youngsters or people just getting into golf is honestly just go straight to the golf course and just play golf. Try to learn how to get the ball in the hole as quick as you can without really overthinking it. So what I tell them is to go work on short game putting, just go to a practice green, work on putting, chipping, and learn how to chip the ball and putt the ball. Then just go to the course and play, and don't overthink it. Don't get too technical, and just learn how to play the game of golf.
Yeah, that's great. Next question. Spencer Von Ruden says, Wesley and Jerge, when you play golf for a living, are there a lot of days where it feels like a job, or has the sport not lost any of its charm since it became a full-time gig?
There are definitely days where it feels like a job and you don't want to do it anymore because it just beats you up. But honestly, I've been playing golf for like 30 years now, and most of the time when I go out there, it's a lot of fun, and I really do enjoy the game. And it's, you know, we're lucky to play this game for a living, and we're playing a sport for our job, so we really don't have too much to complain about. Even on the bad days, you're like, you know what? We're playing golf for a living. We can't really be that upset.
It could be worse.
But there are times where you want to go dig a hole in the woods and just stay there for a long time, because that's what the game does to you. But that's a really good and good question.
Next question. Thomas Jennings says, hello from the UK.
Hello.
What skill would you steal from each other to better your game? Wesley's putting.
Yeah. I would take Wesley's putting. Honestly,
Except for yesterday when he missed that
2-footer.
2-footer?
I know. Come on, Wesley. No, but honestly, over the years, my putting is now kind of trended more towards his game. But what I would take from him is his iron game. He is consistently one of the best iron players on the tour, I think.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I struggle with. And he would definitely say my driving, because over the years, I've been consistently a really good driver. And that is something that he has struggled mightily with at times. So I think he would definitely say my driving.
Next question. Lottie Odendahl. It's a cool last name. How long does it take you to edit your videos, especially going through everything Wesley says, which is a lot?
Yeah, well, the match videos take a long time because, as you know, he has something to say on about every shot and in between every shot. So those are the ones that honestly take a long time because there are a lot of funny moments that I want to put in there, and that these one little sayings that I want to make sure that I don't miss. But the editing thing, it takes me probably a good day to 2 days to do most of the videos because A, I have ADD and can't focus that well. But B, I'm like an average to above average editor. Therefore, I don't know a lot of the tips and tricks to make fast edits. I'm not that proficient yet. So I'd say a day and a half, 2 days to do most of the videos. And then the Wesley ones take a lot longer. As you know, he does talk a lot.
Quintessential says, have you ever played golf in the UK or Europe?
I have. I played in Scotland and England. Played in the British Am at Royal St. George's, funny enough, in 2006. So 14 years ago. Really cool experience. One of the probably most fun golf tournaments I've ever played in because link style golf course, British Open feel, as an 18-year-old going across the pond. That was cool. And then a few years ago, me and Wesley went over to Scotland to film some videos and had the privilege to play the old course at St. Andrews. And it was, I played Augusta National, and that's the best course I've ever played. But being on St. Andrews, hole 1, the home of golf, pretty special. So yes, really, really good times over there, and highly recommend going over there for any of you guys on the fence.
Okay.
Last question, Milsey.
The last question is from Anthony O'Keefe.
Anthony, thank you.
He says, what age did you start playing golf, and did Wesley always have an edge over you, or was there ever a time that you had the edge?
Started when I was 2, probably, maybe earlier. And Wesley had the edge the last 5 years, but from 25 to 2, I would definitely say I had the edge. I would probably beat him 60% of the time growing up, through high school and college, although he was really good. And we'd have our moments where there'd be like weeks or months where we might beat each other once or twice, and then it would swing in the other person's favor. But for the most of the time growing up, I would say I was the dominant one. And then later in life, he's become more dominant. Although my game is trending, so Wesley, look out. Guys, thank y'all for the questions. Now back to the driving tips. Okay, now the grand finale, a way that you can go out and work on like tournament conditions or routine, but hitting full drivers. So pick the hardest driving hole for you. Go out there and take 5 golf balls, and in order to progress or go to the next hole or complete the challenge, you have to hit 4 out of 5 drives in the fairway. So you gotta be at 80%. And so what we're gonna do on this hole is hit 5 golf balls and hopefully hit 4 of them in the fairway. Now, all right, so the reason I chose this hole is up there where my driver would land. It's about a 15, maybe 20-yard gap. But I have to bring in the left trees into play to play my cut, and if I hit it a little too far right, it's in the right bunker. So it's a really tough driving hole. 5 shots to hit 4 of them in the fairway. We'll be going through my routine to simulate tournament conditions. Not going to show every single one of them, but I will show the first one. Camera all good, Millsy?
All good.
Sweet. All right, 1 for 1. Yes. 2 for 2. That is hammered. And another cool thing, I'm talking before that ball lands. That's awesome. But anyway, another cool thing this drill does is it simulates tournament pressure, because now I've hit 2 out of 2 fairways. So that means only need 2 out of 3 to pass. So you have to like table those thoughts and just move on and focus on each individual drive to really succeed at this drill. A little spinny, but oh, am I gonna get away with it? Just up the right again. I think that's fine. That one's gonna be close. So this one, I'm gonna act like I have to hit this fairway in order to pass this test. So hopefully I can do it. Just like that, money. That one's definitely in there. I'm not sure if those other ones, but I'm pretty sure that's 4 out of 5. And if it's not, whatever. Went through my routine, I did the best I can, and y'all get the gist. All right, now for the grand reveal. Didn't hit my mark, but I hit 3 out of 5 fairways, and look at this fairway. I mean, it's like 15 yards wide, and I know for a fact that tour average on this narrow of a fairway with a driver would be way less than 60%. So honestly, even though my goal was not hit a 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5 is great, and I would take it 10 out of 10 times in a tournament, and as should you. So, oh yeah, but here are the 2 missed fairways. So as you can see, not that bad of a drive. My other one, that one was kind of, there it is, kind of blocky. So with that being said, go out and try these drills, these tips. It'll definitely help you with your driving, and it's what honestly has gotten me to be such a consistently above average to a really good driver. Go out and try the drills, and honestly, hopefully y'all enjoy this video. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.